Good day guys, it's me God gives Yanabo. So on this video I'll be introducing you guys to Pixellab. Pixellab is a very wonderful tool, it's a very wonderful app that it's used for smartphone graphic design. I actually talked about it in the last video in my channel. So guys, in case you haven't subscribed to my channel, you can just click on the subscribe button so that each time I upload wonderful videos like this, you will automatically get notified. So let's begin. So here is the icon of the app. Actually Pixellab has other versions, but like to use this one. So this is the layout. You just click on the icon and this opens. This is the layout of the app, of this wonderful app. So you can see here that we have some tools at the upside, some group of tools at the upside, and also some group of tools at the down part. So the first, let's just continue with, we're going to start with the tools at the down part. So you can see this is an icon named my project. My project is the kind of a tool that consists of all your projects, all your designs you've worked on with this app. So you just go there and there, you see all your designs you've worked on. So these are the default backgrounds that actually comes with the app. And so let's begin, let's continue. So we are going to be looking at the group of tools at the down part. So let's begin. The next tool we see here, you can see the capital letter A. So I click on it, and here it shows me text and quotes. Okay, quotes, these are default quotes that comes with the app. We can see you can have some quotes about motivation, quotes about friendship, and all the rest. So then let's continue. We can see a plus sign here which stands for text. Okay, text, your write-ups, anything you want to write about. For example, let us write introduction to Pixellab. Introduction to Pixellab. Okay, introduction to Pixellab. Okay, like I said, this is where you're going to write all your tests, anything about all your write-ups. That's just what the test tool is about. So you can see this pencil edit. Okay, this is just to maybe change something. Okay, maybe you want to add other things to your test that you're written. That's just what the edit tool is for. And then we have another tool, the next tool here, delete, just to delete your elements, that your unwanted elements that you don't need in your project that you're going on with. And so the next tool is copy. This is just to multiply your elements. Okay, for example, now I want to multiply in this write-up, introduction to Pixellab, I want to multiply it, let's say 3 times. So I just copy, and then I get another introduction to Pixellab, and copy again, and then I get another one. Then and this is where the delete tool comes in. I want to delete the 2 and remain only 1. So I just click on delete, click on the next one, and delete. Actually, yeah, Pixellab is so great that you can move whatever elements on the screen with your hands, with your fingers. You can actually rotate them. You can actually rotate them with your fingers by just holding this curve at the down part. And then the circles, you can see this circle is just to break down your text. Break down your text. The first circle at the right hand side, while the circle at the left hand side is just to make it small and make it bold. So then we have the next tool here, which is to front, just to bring in your elements to front. For example, if a man's image is at the back of this introduction to Pixellab, I can just hold on to the man's image and then click on to front, and then the man's image comes to the front of the introduction to Pixellab. Same as the to back tool, which is the next tool here. It's just kind of the opposite of the to front tool. Okay, like taking the man to the back of the introduction to Pixellab. So then let's begin. Let's continue from where we stop. The next two is the position key. Position key, like I said, you can use your fingers to move your elements in Pixellab. But if maybe your element is too small, or maybe you want to keep the elements in a remote place, or maybe you don't just want to feel to use your fingers, you can decide to use the position key. This just has keys where you can actually move your text, move your elements. You can also increase the pixels, okay, to make it go faster. Okay, you can just see that's just what this position 2 is all about. Then the relative position 2, which is the next two after the position 2, this is a tool just to I really recommend it for your alignment works, to make your works aligned. So this, you can see here we have 6 tools here. The first tool is just to move it to the edge here. The second tool is to move it to the middle. Okay, the third tool is to move it to the edge here. The fourth tool is to move it up. Second to move it to the middle once again, and then move it down. So this is just what this relative position tool is all about. Then the next tool we have here is size, to increase and reduce the size of your elements you've written down, or reduce and increase the size of images and all the rest. Okay, so guys, let's continue. Padding tool. This is just a tool that is mostly not, it's just used in some occasions, used in some situations, to just in case maybe your write-up is not actually completing the box, you just increase the left padding. Okay, this is just to move. It's not mostly used in many situations, just few situations. And then you can also reduce it. You can see I can actually cut. You can see now it's remaining introduction. I cut out the in and remaining introduction. Then I can also cut out bring out, okay, you can see, cut out the Pixellab and just make it like this. This is just what the tool is actually used for, just cutting out and replacing. So then let's continue. Then we have the next tool here, which is the color, to change the color of your write-ups, change the color of your elements, your images, and all the rest. So Pixellab actually have different colors that you can choose from, and you can also create your colors with them. We're talking about that maybe in one of the videos coming soon. So let me use black, and under color we still have gradient. So gradient is a mixture of two or more colors, okay, to make it be in the form of a background. So Pixellab has different default gradients here you can choose from, and you can also create yours. So I'm using, let me choose black. Then you have your texture tool. For example, if you want, I want to change this black color of this introduction to Pixellab. Okay, I don't want a color, I want a texture. So just adding, for example, I can go online and download a river, the surface of a river. I can make the introduction to Pixellab to have the surface of a river by just clicking on the texture tool, and then it will take me directly to my files, and then I click on the river I downloaded, and then you can make your introduction to Pixellab have the surface of a river. Then the next tool here is the opacity tool, just to reduce and increase the visibility of the elements you want to work on. So then let's continue. Then we have the rotate tool. In case you can't use your fingers to, like I talked about, you can also rotate the elements with your fingers. In case you can't do that with your fingers, you can just increase the angle, reduce it, just like that. This is just what it's used for. Then you can keep it at the middle. So then we have masking tool. This is just to remove some unwanted parts of the elements. You can use the masking tool for shapes, you can use masking tool for pictures, you can use masking tool for write-ups. It depends on you. So it's a whole and a very big and broad tool to talk about. We might be talking about that in maybe one of the videos coming soon. So let's continue. Then we have fonts. Okay, maybe you might have been using laptops to design, might have been using other tools to design. Okay, so this is where the fonts of Pixellab are. Okay, this tool here, fonts. Okay, font. If you don't really know what fonts are typefaces, are beautifully designed typefaces to make your work look more beautiful, to make your text look more beautiful. So we are going to be using any font here, just kind of to, and then now I can see that the introduction to Pixellab has changed its font. So the next tool is the style tool here. You can see the style tool. So style tool comprises of about 4 different tools under the style tool, like I said. So then the first tool here, which is the capital letter B, is to make your text bold. Click on it and the introduction to Pixellab automatically gets bold. Let me just show you something. So now I want to click on the B and you can see it becomes more bolder. And then the next tool here, you can see the second tool under this style tool is to slant your write-up. Okay, the introduction to Pixellab is now bent. Then the next tool, which is the capital letter U and the line under, is just to underline your text. Okay, you have underlined the introduction to Pixellab now. So then let's continue. Then the last tool under this style is just to cancel all the effects that have been carried out on the text. So you click on it and everything becomes back to normal. Yeah, here we go. So then we have the curve tool, which is the next tool here. We have the curve tool just to reduce and increase, to make your introduction to Pixellab. Then you can anyhow you want it to be. Excuse me. And then we have the background. Okay, this is just bringing out the background of the text. You enable it and this is what shows. The introduction to Pixellab now has its own background. Then you can change the color of it, depends on whatever you want to use. Increase the padding. Okay, like I talked about the padding, you can put it at the middle. Okay, you can just do a lot of things with it and increase and reduce the radius. Depends on you. So then align. This is when you have 2 or more steps of letters or 2 or more steps of words. You can just click on them and you go. So then under spacing, this is another tool called spacing. You can increase it. You can space off all your words. You can see I can space off all my letters. And then you can, under the same spacing tool, you can see we have words and we have letters. So I was spacing only the letters. So then to space the words, you click on words and you see you can space the words. You will not be able to space the letters anymore. It's only the words you can space. So that's just what this tool is all about. Then line spacing is when you have maybe 2 or more lines of a write-up. Let me show you something. Now I want to click on the circle at the right side to break this. Now this is where the line spacing comes in. Now it only works when there are 2 layers of write-ups. Okay, you can see that. So now I can reduce it and I can increase it. I can make the spacing very blinky. So that's just what this tool is for. Then stroke. Stroke, just adding another extra piece to your text. So that the stroke has different colors you can choose from. Gradient also. So let me choose white. Okay, you can see then the stroke has its width. Can increase and reduce the width of the stroke. It depends on you. And then let's continue. Shadow. This is just bringing out shadow on your element. You enable it and you get a shadow. The shadow has different colors you can actually choose from. So I choose black. And then the opacity, you can reduce and increase the visibility of the shadow. Okay, if you don't really want the shadow to show that much, you can reduce the opacity. But if you want it to show all, you can increase it. Then the blur radius. This is just to increase and reduce the shadow. Okay, increase and reduce the shadow, but I want it to be the way it is. And then outer glow, you enable this and it brings in a more shadow tip. Okay, and it's not normal now. So then the offset is just to increase it sideways, depends on each side you want to go down or up. So that's just the tool. So inner shadow, to bring in shadow inside the text. So for example, I've enabled this, I choose on yellow. Let me choose yellow so you're going to see it. Then I click on yellow and you see you've gotten a shadow inside the text, and it also has different colors here. And this is the blur reduce, to increase the shadow inside the text or to reduce it. We also have the offset to take it sideways, or this, just a very simple tool to be used. And then we have emboss. This is a whole lot happening here just to make your write-up more realistic. It's a very complex tool. We'll talk about that. Perspective tool, you can enable this and then change the form of your write-up. Okay, I can change the form of my write-up now. Okay, this is it. You change the form of my write-up. See, it becomes, see, introduction to Pixellab. So that's just what this tool is for, the perspective tool, just to move. And then we have the icon under the enable, which is to reset it to be the way it was. Click on it and it automatically gets resetted. Becomes reset back. And then we have the 3D rotate. The 3D rotate actually works. You can change. Okay, you can see now I can rotate this in a 3-dimensional way, which is the 3D rotate. So this is the y-axis I'm actually increasing and reducing. Then the y-axis is just to make it move the other way around. Okay, you can see that's just what this tool is for. Then we have the 3D test. Like I said, 3D means 3-dimensional. So if I want to make this test on a 3D, I click on the tool, enable it, and then I can increase the depth. You can see I can actually increase the depth of it, make it 3D. And this is a very complex and broad tool on its own. Then you can see under the 3D test you have perspective and you have oblique. Okay, so then I can increase the oblique. This makes it outer, makes your 3D becomes outer, while the perspective makes it inside. So then you have the oblique angle, which you can turn. You can turn this and all around. So that's just it. And then 3D shadow, make a shadow under the introduction to Pixellab. Now you can see that little line under there, and reflection, just to reflect your elements. Okay, now you can see I've reflected this introduction to Pixellab. So then let's continue. Now we are done with the first tool here, which is the capital letter A. So let's continue. Now we continue, and this is the next tool which we have here after the A. So stickers. Here are some stickers that comes with Pixellab. This is the default stuff. This actually comes with Pixellab. So then import. This tool here, import, is to import images. Okay, import images that you're going to like to work with, import effects that you're going to like to use. So here, just import and it takes you to your gallery, and you have a whole lot of stuff there. So you can decide to take your, maybe your picture you decide to use. They are just there. So then the next tool here is draw. Okay, this is just to make use of your pen. Okay, Pixellab actually has a pen. A pen you can use to draw some lines. Okay, let me just show you something. Okay, so this is just it. This is to draw lines and all the rest. Then you can make the line out the line outline to be smoother. You can make it fill, make it dashed line, new effect, make it have some blur stuff. Change the color of them, and here we go. So that's just what the tool is for. And then we have next shapes. Shapes. Pixellab has different types of shapes here. Different types of shapes. So now to see the shapes that Pixellab has, click on the shapes tool, and then you can see the first thing you see here is a box and an arrow pointing down. So you click on the arrow pointing down, and these are the default shapes that Pixellab has to offer. So let's click on a kind of a square, and then we have the radius. Radius, this is just to increase the curve, make sure the edges of the shape is curved. That is just what the radius is for. And then the opacity is just to reduce the visibility, like I said, of the shape. And then change this. Here is the color. It has different colors. The colors of your shape you can decide. So I decide to use black. Then gradient. Okay, two colors that are mixed together. Then we have stroke, adding another more outline. You saw the stroke about the text. Now this is a stroke about a shape. Okay, this is how to get shape. Then let me change the stroke color to yellow. Okay, here is just to make your stroke. If you need your stroke to be curved, you need your stroke to have a sharp line. Just that's how it is. Then it also has shadow, which can be increased and also reduced. So now let me give you a hint you have to know. So I don't know if you have noticed it, but when I was actually on the tool concerning the test, you notice that you did not find anything as import or shapes. Okay, that's because the capital letter A only works with test. This tool only works with test. So in case you want to go back, and the next tool concerning the shapes, here you can find the shapes and all the rest, which is after the A. Just click on it and you come here. So then you can also click on the shape that you want to work on. That's just how here it's done. Then if you want to edit it, you want to change the color maybe from this black to yellow, you click on edit here. So then you can change it to yellow, but I need it to be black. So I reduce the size a bit. So here we have the delete button in case you want to delete the shape. Then crop, here is just to kind of make it smaller. Okay, make it smaller. Then copy, kind of multiplying it in case you want to do that. Then front to back is just almost like the one we talked about, the test. The position key, relative position key, then relative size key. Okay, okay, so the test, which is the introduction to Pixellab, to make a test big, there we use the size tool, okay, which has a kind of a double T. But when you're talking about shapes, you use your relative size to increase the size and reduce it, okay. But you can disable it, and then you can only increase the width, okay. You can only increase the height, but when you enable it, it increases both sides together. So that's how there works. So here is just to change the color, change the whole color to whatever color you want to choose. The same thing here, texture. That's the same thing here, called texture. where you can add this. I can decide to add someone's face on this square and make it texture. That is just how this works in this shape aspect. And then you have your opacity tool to reduce and increase. Pixellab is a very wonderful tool, I must say. Then you have your color filters, increasing your hue, your saturation, your brightness, your contrast, and all the rest. Okay, so this here is just to add FX effects to your elements. So then let's continue. Then your stroke, you can decide to add more stroke. You remember we added stroke in the when we are actually importing this shape. We actually added stroke. So then I don't want to add stroke to it. I don't want to add stroke. Then we have your eraser tool. Okay, this is just to use to erase some parts of the design. And the second circle here is just to make it blur and all of that. So that is just what this one is all about. Now you can see we now have a space in the shape. Then you can see some tools up here. This is the color palette you would like to choose from if you want to erase this particular side. The circle, same as the circle. Then this tool that is pointing back, this is just to restart what had already been done. Okay, so that's just what eraser tool is all about. Mask tool, also to remove some size, some places that are unwanted places in the shape. Now you see I've removed that place I don't want to be, but I want the shape to be whole, so I disabled it. Then we have a eraser color, your erase color tool. Now this works when another shape of a different color is on top of this black and you don't want it to be there. Okay, that's just what this one is all about, erase color. Then rotate, you rotate, that's just a difference if you don't want to use your fingers to do so. 3D rotate, the XYZ and the YY axis. That's just what this tool is all about. 3D shape, three-dimensional shape, you enable it, and then you can also increase the depth. You can turn it to oblique. Just a cool tool, just like the way we use consigning the text. You can, it's also similar to the shape aspect. So let's leave the depth at 4. And then perspective tool, you enable it and you can change the form. Okay, you can see that I'm changing the form of the shape to the way I like. That is just the same thing we did to the introduction to Pixellab, the write-up of the introduction to Pixellab. So I don't need it, I reset it and go out. So shadow, same thing here. It has blur, reduce, offset. It's just beautiful. And then we have the emboss tool to make your work better. And then let's continue. We are done with this segment, which is after the A. So then we go to the next segment. Okay, so this segment actually works with the original layout of the app. Okay, like I said, the original layout, you can see. Maybe if you want to change the color of the layout you're working on, you can see here I'm working on a gray. I'm working on a kind of a gray and a brown, a light brown background, but I want to change that to white. Okay, so I click on, which is after this. Okay, now know that we are done with the shape segment. Know that we are done with the 2, which is after the A. We are done with that segment. So we are going to the next segment, which is here. And so I want to change the layout, the color of the layout I'm using to work. I want to change it to white. So then I click on white and this is here. So this actually works only with the layout. If I want the layout to be transparent, click on transparent and we go there. So then I need it to be white, like I said. So image size, this is just to increase the size of layout you're working on. For example, like you have to know business card has its own size, um, flyers has their own size. So here is just to increase the width and to reduce the height, and it also has different types of sizes that comes with them. So I want to use the custom size. So image, here we have different images that come with Pixellab. So just now I can change what I'm using to write here. I can change what I'm using, the background of where I'm working on. I can change it to different stuff here. Pixellab is a very wonderful app, I must say. It has a lot of things to work with, and it's easy to use. So I don't want to make use of this image. I just want to leave it the way. Now this is another tool in case you want to import anything. Like I say, you can import images for work. So you can just click here and you got a lot of things you can import to your Pixellab. Then from camera, in case you want to take a picture of anything, you can, maybe anything you can want to take a picture to use for design, you just click on from camera and then you can snap directly. Then we are done with this segment. Then the last segment of this down part, click on that. This is also to work on the layout you're working on. You can decide to rotate that. Zoom it. This is adding another, okay, you can see this is adding the another outer look. Okay, you can increase the alpha, which is the light, making it darker and making it lighter. So I don't want this. Then noise, you enable this and you have this dot on the layout. That is just what this one actually works for. You can increase the, which is what this alpha is for. You can increase the light, okay, make it light and even make it disappear, or make it like this. Depends on any one you want to use. This is just talking about only the layout. Then stripes, bringing out, enable it, and you get this lines on, making it dark, making it light. You can get the light on the layout you're working on. So I can make them plenty, I can make them small, depends on you. And then brightness, increasing the brightness of where you're working on, just the layout you're working on. Contrast, increasing it, reducing it, and hue, just beautiful, a very beautiful app. So by God's grace we are done with the tools at the down part. So let's go up. Now let's begin with the tools at the upside. Now you can see at the upside there is an icon, a plus sign. Okay, in case here is another alternative. You can click on that and you have text, current date, sticker, shapes from gallery, and draw. So you can decide to use any one of them here. You can decide to use any one of them here. We have text, current date, sticker, shapes from gallery. So here is just another alternative where you can also get you can also import something into it. You can also create shapes. You can also write something. Okay, and this is another. Let's say this is a tool I didn't talk about at the down part. Let me do that before I forget. Okay, so after the shapes here, which I also imported a shape, which I also created a shape, which was a square, we have this Bezier tool. This is a very complex tool in Pixellab, and it it takes so many it's a very hard tool, I must say. It's a very hard tool. I'm going to talk about this on a video. I'm going to make a video about this particular tool here. And then we have arrow. This is just to make a shape, an arrow. You can decide to use it whenever, depends. We have stroke color, opacity. You can increase the stroke. You can make it from white to yellow. That's just what that one is all about. So let's continue from where we stopped. Okay, so guys, the plus sign, like I said, this is a tool where an alternative where you can create shape, where you can get images from your gallery, draw something, sticker, and create text. So guys, for example now, I want to save this introduction to Pixellab. What I do now, this is what the use of this next tool is for. So I click on it, I write, make sure you always click on save as project. Okay, so then I can just write introduction to Pixellab. This is the title of my project, introduction to Pixellab, and yeah, it's saved. Okay, this is saved to your project now. Okay, this introduction to Pixellab is saved. It has been automatically saved to your project. Let me show you guys. Okay, now these are some of my projects carried out here. So I click on, you can see introduction to Pixellab. It has automatically been saved. I click on it, I click OK, and I get it back. Okay, in case I want to work on it, in case I want to change this color to yellow, depends on me. So guys, the next tool here, you can see it's a kind of a share button. You click on it. This is to save your work, or in case you want to share it maybe directly to platforms. So one thing you have to note here is that you almost always have to save your work as PNG. Okay, we have JPG, which is no transparency. So if I want to change it to PNG, I click on the arrow pointing down, and here we go, PNG. I click on PNG. Then dimensions, we have custom. You click on the arrow pointing down, and then I click on ultra. So this is how you must always save your work. That is one thing you have to know. You must always save your work as PNG ultra. So then I click to save to gallery, and then it's rendering image, and then it's gonna save your project in a while. So this is just how to save your completed project directly to your gallery. Why the other tool was to save the project. Now they have given me a notification, image save. And now the next tool after the share button is an alternative to quotes. Click on it, and then you see different kind of quotes here. That's just how it's done. Then the next tool here, which is the three dots we have here. Okay, this is just to another, like, one thing you have to know that Pixellab is a very wonderful tool, like I said, and it has different alternatives. So here is another alternative where you can import images. So this is just what this three dots is all about. You click on it, and then use image from gallery. That is what they're asking you. You can click on that, and then it takes you directly to your image. Now you can see introduction to Pixellab. The project we just worked on has been automatically saved to my gallery. So I want to delete this now. Okay, it has been automatically been saved to my gallery. Then we have full screen, just to look at your work without the icons, without your text, in case you want to have a view on your work. That is just what it's all about. So in case this is your full screen, you want to go back and continue your project, you click on this blue stuff up here, and it takes you back. Okay guys, so use image from camera, which is after the full screen. This is just to take a photo directly to use in your project that you're actually working on. So guys, we have export image. This is maybe to send your project maybe somewhere, maybe to your next app, or maybe to an app that you want to send it to someone. Then your image size, this is increasing, or let's say reducing the size of layout you're working on. So guys, like I said, I like to use custom. I can also increase the width. Let me increase the width and show you guys something. Sorry, let me reduce the width. Let me reduce it to 900, and then you see it changes it from automatically. Now I keep it back to how it was. the default size, which is 1280. So guys, we leave it back to normal, and then contact us, report bug. This is just where to contact the app developers of Pixellab. That I haven't tried that before. Then we have tutorials. This takes you directly to YouTube, where you're going to get tutorials about Pixellab. Remove ads. These are ads that comes with the app. Okay. Then we have recover autosave. This is just to go back to some works that have been carried out with this app in a day. Like, I mean, it takes you back maybe to some works you carried out few minutes ago. That is what it's used for. Then open PLP file. That's another story of another day. Then about, this takes you just to about the app, and exit this just to take you out of the app. And then you can see, let's go, there are two layers here. You can see at the up part. As after the three dots, we look at the next two here, which is a kind of arrow, which is curved and pointing back. Okay, so you click on that, and then it takes you maybe kind of undo. Okay, kind of undoing what you have done. For example, I want to make this introduction to Pixellab go up here. Okay guys, I want to make it to go up here. Now, I'll be like, oh my god, I made a mistake. Then I want to get it back to where it was. I just click on that too, and it automatically goes back. You can see, and it goes back. This is just undoing the mistake you have done. And then the next two here, you can see a plus sign in a length. This is just to increase your image, your layout you're actually working on. Okay guys, this is just to increase it. Now you see I can increase and I can reduce. So I click on it back and I disable it. Then the next two here, these are just lines that are mostly used for alignment, to make your work aligned. So this is just a line and magnet. Okay, you can see a magnet here, which, for example, I want to make the shape be at the middle. I just hold on to the shape, and then you can see it actually magnets, yes, directly to the middle. So guys, then you can actually multiply the lines here. You can actually multiply it, and you can actually undo. So guys, then the last two, by God's grace, we're going to be looking at is layers. Okay guys, layers. Okay, here you can see some different elements here. Now let me just show you this last stuff here. For example, if I want to merge, if I want to join, now you can see this introduction to Pixellab, and the shapes are of different places. They are just scattered everywhere. You can see they are just scattered everywhere. Now I want to merge the introduction to Pixellab and the shape together. I'm going to click on this layer. This is what this layer is for. I'm going to click on this layer, and then click on this button down here, which has a good sign and X. Okay, I click on this and this changes. Now I mark good on this box on the shape, and mark good on the box of introduction to Pixellab, and click on the good mark, and it's, you see, it merges. Sorry, and click on the icon which is close to the good mark. I click there, and it will tell me, are you sure you want to merge the selected object? I click on OK, and it automatically merges. Now I can move it different ways, but one thing about Pixellab is that you can't merge. So good day guys, once again, thanks for watching this video. So this is an introduction to Pixellab, talking about some tools, some great tools about Pixellab, and I hope you really understand. So guys, drop your comments about this app on the comment section so that I can address to it. And so guys, thanks for watching once again. Love you all.